It might be the bye week for the San Francisco 49ers as they get prepared for the divisional round playoff games, but that doesn't mean their media responsibilities have stopped. And so Deebo Samuel joined Rich Eisen to discuss a bunch of different things, but one of the main talking points was about Brock Purdy getting exposed by the Ravens and if Deebo Samuel thought that was the case. And I really do like the answer that Deebo Samuel gave. I think it provides a strong context into how this team is thinking about that game. And I know a lot of fans have talked about this game and it kind of sits in the back of their head, but maybe listening to Deebo Samuel kind of contextualize it will help you process it a little bit better. Take a listen right here as Deebo Samuel joins Rich Eisen.
So let's just jump right into it here. How confident are you guys feeling going into these playoffs? Come on now. What do you got?
I mean, we're pretty confident, you know. I thought that was kind of like a crazy question, but yeah, I think
it's not a crazy question. You gotta. I want an honest answer. What do you have?
Yeah,
for me?
we're pretty confident, man. With with the guys that we have here and the stuff that we put out on tape all year long, and the mindset that we've been carrying in week in and week out, and just keeping the main thing. And at this point, it's win or go home. So everybody's gonna go out here and give it their all.
Wow.
And today we had all guys in the building,
Okay.
Getting the workout in, just moving around a little bit. And, tomorrow we have practice, Friday we have practice, and we just chill out on the weekend and watch some football.
How does this compare to the previous Super Bowl runs you've been on?
But we're going to have all hands on deck. We get a lot of guys back. A lot of guys we had a couple guys banged up, and I feel like we're just getting a lot of guys back, and we'll be full head of steam and at full strength.
Okay. Very good. I'm glad to hear that because, I always shoot you straight, Deebo Samuel, when you appear on this program. Okay. I will shoot you straight. A lot of folks in my business think the Ravens exposed your quarterback and your offense, Deebo. How do you respond to that?
I mean, if you're a football guy and you really watch the game, he only threw one bad interception, and that was the one on the first drive. And if you go back to it, you got the bubble to me on the left sideline, and they have a double corner blitz, and the guy bats the ball down, and luckily it falls in the other backside corner guy that's blitzing also fall in his hand, and one other ball, he's getting ready to throw the ball, and his arm get tipped, and that ball get tipped and falls in their hands. But overall, I mean, we threw 3 picks in the first half, and it was still 16-12. But it just show you how good our team is.
Okay. So, because, again, that's the conversation we had on game day morning on the Sunday after the Christmas game, was looking at the tape and how, these things kind of happen. There was one where he probably would want it back, but the rest of it was just these things happen type mistakes. It just happened to happen over and over again in a game everyone was watching, thinking that this is a super.
Watch it. If you go watch it, we was up and down the field all game long, and we was moving the ball, and it was just things that happened. It just came up for us, like tip balls and stuff, and that's a lot of things that we can't control. Like you just said, things just happen.
How did he handle it?
Man, I mean, you see how he handled it the following week. Brock is a guy that, he always own up to his mistakes, and he come to the team first and let us know that, it was kind of like, Brock put a lot of pressure on himself to be perfect. And that's, and he take full ownership of when he messes up. And so that's one thing that, like I said, that's one thing that we love about Brock here. And he take full accountability of things. And, when the next week came, it's just like nobody even knew that we just lost a game to the Ravens by how we approached practice and how he came out there and approached practice as well.
What do you mean he takes responsibility? He literally goes up to you and the rest of the team and says something?
Like when the team breaks it down after a game, he get up in front of the team, be like, hey, guys, this was on me. I got to be better. This, that, and the third. That's just the type of a guy that Brock is.
And how does that resonate with the rest of the team?
Oh, if you got a guy that do that and one of the main leaders on this team and, the guy that command the huddle on offense, I mean, you can't do nothing but respect it.
Once again, I agree with what Deebo Samuel had to say. We've said a lot of the very same things that Deebo said when we were looking back at that game and trying to weigh out how much we should be concerned about that game. And when we talk about it and when we've discussed it, it comes back to the same talking points. Only one of the interception was really that egregious. The other ones were some lucky tips. You give the Ravens credit for it, but that's not something that's necessarily going to be replicated. That's not a blueprint item that the ball just happens to bounce their way. We give them credit for making the plays and doing everything that they need to do. But I think with the 49ers moving forward, that's why I've always personally talked about wanting to see the Ravens again, because just like Deebo alluded to, it was 16-12 at halftime with the 49ers ball. Unfortunately, I think it was a 3-and-out. Ravens scored, and then it just felt like they lost the momentum from that point, especially after I think it was a next series they had an interception by Brock. So it was just a weird momentum game, and it's not a game where, yes, the Ravens came in, they played us very well, they had a good game plan and they executed it and it worked, and they beat us fair and square. But I think the 49ers left a lot of meat on the bone when it comes to what they could really do against that Ravens team. So I like that Deebo Samuel's like, nah, Brock's good. Brock's going to be all right. You know, that game, it is what it is. We'll flush it. We put it behind us. But we know Brock, what he's capable of, and that's no way indicative of who Brock Purdy is going to be moving forward. And just look at what he did against Washington. And again, that's one of Brock's best traits. He is accountable, he has humility, and he's a competitor. And he prepares like no one else. So he's always going to put himself in the best position to be successful. And the 49ers follow his lead. There's no doubt in my mind that these 49ers players think that they can go all the way with Brock Purdy at quarterback. So I don't think the Ravens really exposed anything. Did they play really well against us? Yes. Did they beat us pretty handily? Yeah, they did. But I would like to see that matchup and see. I would imagine it'll be a lot different the next time around. So it'll be interesting to see if we get that Super Bowl rematch. I wouldn't mind it. Like I said, I think there's some stones left unturned for the 49ers. So I wouldn't mind seeing that matchup again. But what did you guys think about what Deebo Samuel had to say about the whole conversation about Brock being exposed and all those different types of things? Let me know what you guys are thinking about it in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.